Hey friends, it's me, Axial GT, and I'm bringing you this video because
The world is changed.
I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth.
let's talk about it. So I'm a tech guy and a gamer, and I have some things I feel need to be said about the current strife that's going on in the world, and how the media is not telling you the whole truth. Imagine that. So with this video, I'm veering way off course from my normal content, and this video won't be for everyone, and my apologies for that, but rest assured I am back, and this will probably be my only video that delves into politics. It's usually a topic I avoid, so let's go ahead and get on with it. So unless you have your head in the sand, you know that Russia has invaded Ukraine. I've been watching this unfold for months, since the first buildup of Russian forces, just like many of you. But the media is lying, and put their own spin on things. And to be honest, I am sick of it. You see, I'm old school. I was raised that your word is your bond.
It's simply not true that my administration or policies are holding back domestic energy production. They have 9,000 permits to drill now. They could be drilling right now, yesterday, last week, last year. They have 9,000 to drill onshore that are already approved.
You see, that's only a half-truth, which is the same as lying. Yes, there are 9,000 leases outstanding, but there's no permits to drill. That's how it works. A company leases the land, then they have to get permits to drill. Doesn't matter how much money you have, if you don't have your word, you don't have shit. And people putting their own spin on things is the same as lying. Now, I'm not just talking about a few news outlets, but I'm talking about all of them. And all the major news outlets, they're all asking why. Why would Russia invade Ukraine? And the only reason they put forth is the strategic positioning of Russia when it comes to Ukraine. Russia taking Ukraine would provide a buffer zone between NATO countries and Russia. But that, my friends, is only part of the story. While Western nations tend to think it's 2022 and the world is civilized, yes, including here in the US, it's not, and people have their head buried in the sand. My heart goes out to the people of Ukraine, and I stand with them against the Russian aggressors. And yes, I believe that the West should be providing military and economic aid, all the aid the world can muster. And now when I say military, I mean provide them with weapons. All the weapons they need. They're fighting for their lives. Now here in the United States, we have people that bicker and argue about what bathroom to use, what pronouns to use when you talk to someone, which is the dumbest fucking shit I have ever heard. These people have way too much time on their hands. And sorry I'm rambling, but this is rambling with a point. So what's the real reason for Russia's invasion of Ukraine? Well, it's money, plain and simple. Ukraine declared itself an independent nation in 1991 after the collapse of the Soviet Union. Now I'll break this down and condense what happened next so this video isn't 5 hours long. Exploratory drilling took place in the early 2000s. Ukraine found it had a huge reserves of natural gas on and around Crimea. See where this is heading? Then Russia invaded Crimea and lied to the world for the reasoning, claiming liberation when in fact it was robbery. Ukraine has aspirations of joining NATO and the EU. The European Union gets its lion's share of natural gas from Russia. If Ukraine exported its own natural gas from these deposits and became part of the European Union, they could sell directly to them, leaving Russia out in the cold. Ukraine also charges Russia tariffs for the gas it sends to Europe across Ukraine's pipelines in the tune of $3 billion a year. Now we all know this man is a bully, and we also know this man is an idiot, but I'll tackle the bully part first. Like I said, now we all know that Vladimir Putin is a bully. He has delusions of grandeur about rebuilding the Soviet bloc and himself. I don't know if he's trying to overcompensate for other things being small in his life or what. I don't know. I'll leave that to the psychologists. Now, if Ukraine loses this fight, Putin will not stop with Ukraine. The next victim will be Moldova. It only has a standing army of 6,000 troops, and will be no match for Russia. So let me ask you this, and write your answer in the comments below. How many countries does Vladimir Putin have to conquer and make his own before somebody steps up and says, no more? That's the real reason for the aggression. You have a little man with a little, well, you know. that likes to act like a bully. Just imagine this. You go to work every day, just trying to live your life, and your next door neighbor invades your house just because he wants what you have. Still think the world is civilized? We civilians of the entire world, who do the best we can for ourselves, are pawns for world leaders, and it's irritating. I don't want to see any country at war, especially over money. Now, as for the Russian Tsar, yes, he calls himself a president, but you cannot be a president when you can stay in power so long. The Russian Tsar, Vladimir Putin, I will challenge a fight in the ring, and the immortal words of Rocky.
In here, there were two guys killing each other, but I guess that's better than 20 million.
This is the way I look at it. And some people will say, oh, Vladimir Putin knows the martial arts. Well, don't underestimate the crazy people from the South.
What you want to do with it?
He got a little pretty mouth, ain't he?
Now I'm going to speak my mind about here in the United States. You see, I don't think with my emotions. I analyze logically. And logically speaking, if you want to maintain stable energy and prices, you produce your own energy. In 2019, the U.S. was energy independent and produced enough energy to export around the world, providing stable gas and diesel prices. And this fucking idiot shut it down, putting 1,000 people out of work immediately and the loss of 10,000 more jobs in the future. These are people with families. Remember when I said pawns? Yes, it happens to the democratic countries too. Biden wants to keep pushing green energy. And I would actually like to know when's the last time he actually had to pump his own gas for his own car. And then you have John Kerry traipsing around the world talking about climate change in his personal jet. I wonder how much jet fuel he is burning, producing carbon emissions.
What do you think they're so mad about, chick?
Well, I think they feel that drilling for oil is an evil thing.
You know how much diesel that clunker boat pumps out an hour?
This is another one do as I say, not as I do scenario. Fucking idiot.
And here's something for the American public to think about. Everybody's complaining about gas prices. Why don't you take a look at the price of diesel? That is how all of your products get on store shelves. Not only are we dealing with record inflation, the cost of shipping is going through the roof. Almost everything you have has been on a truck at one time or another.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not against green energy, but we should not be sacrificing our security for it. And I will admit I have yet to hear anybody tell me what they're going to do with all the solar panels and windmill blades in 20 to 25 years when they wear out. Those are going to go straight to a landfill because they are not recyclable. Anyway, yeah, produce green energy. Great. Awesome. But we should still be producing oil and natural gas and be exporters of it. Once your green energy comes online, then you can slowly start to wean everybody off fossil fuels. But not until then. Security is the utmost important. Now I've broken down the political climate in the United States into its most basic forms. I believe in keep it simple, stupid. On one side, you have the people that are left that believe in making, and I stress the word making, people do and believe a certain way. If you don't believe their way, they cancel you. And then there's the right. Well, they really, when you break it down, just want to be left alone. Nobody telling them what to do. I personally believe I do not have the right to tell others what to say, think, or do. Like, who am I? And for people that do that, who are you? I can give advice, but that's as far as it goes. On the other side of the coin, I also believe the others don't have that right either. Now, on both of these sides in government, they do have one major thing in common, even though they don't think so. They do. They both spend way too fucking much. And they don't know how to balance a checkbook. And all that does is hurt American citizens in the long run. Both left and right are guilty.
You know, that's kind of like your house being on fire. And a Republican and a Democrat are going to sit around and argue about what drapes to put up.
Now, as the world puts sanctions on Russia, and Putin has been doing some saber rattling, saying he put his forces on high alert. Really? All that was a warning to everybody else. Unless he treats his nuclear arsenal like McDonald's and only has part-time employees, which I don't think he does, his nuclear arsenal is always on high alert, just like everybody else in the world that has nuclear weapons. They're always on high alert. Now, everybody said the previous administration, yes, I'm talking about Trump, was pushing us to World War III. Really? Look where we are now. But believe me, China is watching all of this. Winnie the Pooh wants to get their hands on Taiwan, another sovereign nation. And why? Again, it's over money. And it's sad. I hope Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin choke on their own money. Now, since I did challenge Vladimir Putin earlier in the video, I think it's only right to challenge Joe Biden. So what can I challenge him with?
I know. Let's have a spelling contest.
That's my thought. I will be back next week with more gaming and hardware news.
But I'll say again, I stand with the Ukrainian people. My heart goes out to them. President Zelensky has more of my respect than my own president does. I've always respected the office of president, no matter who was in it, even if I didn't like them. But I don't have to respect the person. That part is earned. So like this video, share this video, and subscribe for future Axial GT content. I don't plan on doing another political video. I just thought there were some things that needed to be said. With that, my friends, I am out of here. You all have a good one.